Alright, so I'm usually very, very private about my personal life. I've never opened up like this, but I wanted your thoughts on the situation I'm in. I'm an entrepreneur, and I work in tech, and I also work in the entertainment industry. So it's like, I'm a busy man. I have multiple businesses. So I had an amazing relationship, and I decided to break it off because she actually wanted to extend the family, and I don't want any more kids. I wanted to focus on my career and my, my businesses. So I broke it off, and she's not happy about it, but I thought it was just best to just be honest and say I just don't want any more children. So I've had casual encounters, me just dating around because I don't go with anyone. And I decided to have a casual encounter with a coworker, which I know you should mix business and pleasure, and I know better, but I was just having a little fun or whatever, and we were dabbling for a couple of months. We just were sleeping around, and nobody knew about it. It was kind of fun or whatever like that. Always use protection. So a few months go by, and a couple of months go by, and it's her birthday, and she calls me at like 2 in the morning. She's like, "Hey Tone, I'm drunk. Could you come get me?" And I mean, she's stranded. I don't want to leave her stranded, and she's drunk, and she's a coworker. Like she's still a friend, you know what I mean? So I was like, all right, I'll come get you. So I went to get her, and I mean, she's blitzed, and she just in the car. She just goes in on me, like she goes straight in on me. So it's wild. I'm trying to drive. I'm like, yo, I'm about to crash. Like, hey. But she gets super frisky, and we end up doing it. But we end up doing it. It was unprotected sex, and I know better. I was being reckless. The next morning, me being stupid, I did not get the morning after pill, like Plan B or whatever, and that was that. So I had decided at that point, I was like, yo, I gotta chill out, because I'm super focused on my career and my businesses. I tell her like, hey, listen, we gotta slow it down. Like, this is too much. She's like, well, I missed my period. So I'm like, okay, all right. So I went and got pregnancy tests from the drugstore. I didn't get the little cheapy ones. I got the ones, the best that money could best buy, and they came back negative. So I'm like, okay, but it could have been too soon. So we, even a couple of weeks later after that, we tried for the pregnancy test again, and they were negative. So I'm like, but still a chance because it just happened. So I just kept things I was like, I'm gonna keep tabs on you, but we can't keep doing it, So, but she started getting obsessive after that. She's like, hey, listen, I thought about it. I know you said you didn't want a relationship, but I fell for you, and you've been so helpful, and you're so nice, and blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, I hear you, but that's not what I'm looking for. So a couple of weeks after that, we tried for the pregnancy test again. They did come back negative. She's like, I was like, why don't you go to the doctor since you said you missed your period? So she said she missed her period again. She goes to the doctor. She's like, I scheduled an appointment for the doctor. Would you take me? I was like, of course, I want to go with you. She's like, well, you were kind of apprehensive about the whole kid thing, so I really don't want you to go. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, she's like, I'll have my homegirl go. She's got 3 kids herself. This is whatever. I was like, all right, so I'll just at least drop you off. How about that? She's like, cool. I dropped her off at Wellstar. I literally watched her walk in, and I even sat there for a little while just in case something went wrong. She had to walk back out because, on her ride. So, she stayed in there or whatever, and so I went about my day, and that was that. So I called her later on that night, of course. I'm like, hey, what happened? So she's like, hey, guess what? I'm like, what? She's like, you have twins. I'm like, okay, you know, I do have twins in my family, a little bit, and I did tell her one time, like, if I ever have twins, maybe I would be happy about that, because I've always wanted to be a twin, low-key, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be cool to have two of me, you know what I'm saying? So I actually was a little happy about it. I was like, okay, well, let me see the ultrasound or whatever. She's like, oh, well, the ultrasound, they didn't print one out. Now they put it in an app. So I got to download the app, and she's not computer savvy or whatever. So she's like, I got to download the app. The ultrasound will be in the app. I'll send it to you, and I download it in the charts and everything. Now, low key, I wanted the charts because I wanted to see how many weeks she was, see if it matched up with, when we did it. So time goes on. Now it's been like 2 or 3 weeks. She still has not produced an ultrasound. I'm like, okay, what's up with that, I started becoming suspicious. So I was like, let me just investigate. So she said that she had invited her homegirl to the ultrasound, remember? So I invited her homegirl, her, to the movies, and then we went to dinner. During dinner, her homegirl's talking, we're all ha ha he he. Homegirl's, yeah, dot, baby. And I was like, baby? You mean babies? She's like, no, baby. I was like, I looked at the girl, I'm like, no, babies. So that told me that she was not present for the ultrasound. So, who was? I played it cool. I didn't even trip. I waited a few days. And normally I don't do this. I ain't no sucker. But I went digging through her phone. I came over, waited till she went to sleep, went through her phone. Sure enough, I found people that she had been sleeping with. She had been sleeping with the FedEx guy at her job. He'd come and deliver packages, and apparently delivering a lot more. And I wasn't mad about her sleeping with other people, because remember, we don't go together. But she made it sound like she was 1,000% sure that she was pregnant and this is my baby. She didn't mention anybody else. So I woke her up, like, hey, who's this? This is the FedEx guy you've been sleeping with. No, I haven't been sleeping with him. Like, I read the whole thing. Like, you definitely was sleeping with him. So I was like, look, I tell you what, let's just wait until we can get a DNA test, and let's not do this. I'm done with this. She's like, now she's going full throttle berserk. She's calling me every hour on the hour. She's crying. She's trying to get her homegirl involved, because I blocked her, because I didn't want. She's calling me every hour. I just couldn't think. So I blocked her. She got her homegirl to call. Her homegirl's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to be in the middle of that. I admit I was not there. I don't know why she told you that. All that good stuff. So I'm like, it's fine, whatever. Then she gets her homegirl to call again, but she's on the phone. And so her and her homegirl's on speakerphone, and her homegirl vouches for her. Yeah, I was there. Now, you just told me you wasn't there a couple of days ago, and now you was there. But I know you wasn't there because you said baby and not babies. So now, family, if she wasn't there, who was there? Or did she even go to the appointment? Because remember, I saw her walk in, but she doesn't have an ultrasound. She doesn't have any paperwork. And, she can't tell me how many weeks she is. She's like, oh, they said I was 3 months. She just made up some random number. So, now she had to go out of town. She had to go out of town, and she went out of town, and so she's no longer in Atlanta, which is where I'm at. And she's hitting me up, and she's like, hey, one day she hits me up, she's like, hey, I really want to just talk to you. I'm sorry, she wasn't there, but I definitely am pregnant. I was like, okay, well, where's the ultrasound? Where's the ultrasound? This is a couple of weeks later. So she finally sends me the ultrasound. And she sends it on Facebook. And it's not one picture, it's like two. It's like divided up. Like one part is twin A and the second part is twin B. So she sends this ultrasound. And now, mind you, it's been months now, you know what I mean? Or at least several weeks. I don't even believe it. I don't even look at the ultrasound, to be honest. I'm like, whatever. She said, it's ultrasound. I'm like, where's the paperwork? How many weeks are you? So she's like, oh, I'll get the paperwork over to you. Yeah, okay. So I ain't tripping about it. I'm like, she's full of crap. So a few days later, I tell my cousin about it. She's like, Cuzzo, let me see the ultrasound. She's like, Google that ultrasound for me. So I was like, all right. So I put the two pictures together, and I go ahead and Google it. And you wouldn't believe it, but my twins have an exact twin on a website that sells ultrasounds, fake ultrasounds, for like $12 or something. So